Today is Tuesday, October 6th, 2020, and today I'm thinking about how the truth is often very simple, and the world tries to make everything super complicated, when in reality the truth is very simple. Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. And this is Jesus Christ speaking, and I just like to think of these verses in the context of Jesus Christ is the truth. And the Bible talks about the Spirit of truth working through us. And just like the yoke of Jesus Christ, salvation through Jesus Christ is easy. It's not complicated. It's not like a labyrinth, which is this rat race of a life. People have no idea what direction they're going in. Salvation is easy, not necessarily simple, but it's easy, straight and narrow path. And in the same way, truth is often very easy. This is just something that I always think about now, because me personally, I used to want to be a big smarty pants and know everything. I always knew the quote-unquote correct answer, which is just a total appeal to authority and complete nonsense most of the time. And it turns out that the truth is a lot simpler than what those in control would have you believe. It's kind of like a demoralization thing too. They want you to think that the only way that you can discover something, or the only way that you can figure something out about this place, is you need to be a part of their institution and work your way up and get all sorts of degrees. And so they're demoralizing you by making you think that it's basically impossible to accomplish anything here, when in fact the truth is really simple and easy, and everybody can make a difference. It's just that the world spends an enormous effort to demoralize you and make things seem more complicated than they are. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. There's a lot of things that I have to think back to when I was a child. When I was a child, I understood that this whole gravity thing was a bunch of BS. I never even understood it when they were presenting it. I was like, I don't get what the big deal is. When an apple is no longer attached to the tree, the apple is more dense than air, and therefore it's going to go down, because that's just how this place works. You know, a big part of when children are growing up, there's an enormous amount of time that children are learning the physics of this place. And children have a better understanding of that than, think about all the NASA nonsense that adults spend time talking about black holes, talking about alternate universes is something that people love bringing up. And none of that's real. That's all sci-fi. Whereas young children are figuring out the real physics of this place. So when I was a young child, I remember, what is this gravity nonsense? What else is the apple supposed to do? The way that everything works here is that if you're more dense than the medium, you go down. That's why you see, when there's a bunch of stuff floating through the air in the spring, you see all sorts of stuff floating through the sky, unaffected by this mysterious force, gravity. And it just has to do with the fact that these objects are basically the same density as air. That's why they swim through the air, no problem. So here's just another thing. Science tries to overcomplicate things. And getting back at the message of this video, the truth, Jesus Christ, his yoke is easy. And Jesus Christ is the truth. The truth is often very easy. It's not this. What is this even? And you eventually realize that they are taking the piss with this stuff. Over-the-top CGI, over-the-top cartoons. The only reason anybody believes it is because it was crammed into their brain since day one. There is no way that you remove humans from this NWO Babylon deception. There's no way that somebody comes to these same conclusions by observing what's around them. There's just no way. And because this is just a fantasy that people have come up with. It's not reality. It's not based on reality. That's why it's all CGI. This is complicated. This is not simple, and it's not the truth. The truth is simple, and it's in Genesis 1. And they are, again, taking the piss. It's just really pathetic. They like to make these Hollywood movies that are very, people are being scared up in space. But if you just look at photos out of NASA, they are always cracking up in these pictures because they know it's BS. They're in on the deception, of course. That's why they're always cracking up. Nobody's afraid of going up into space because nobody can even go up into space. So why would you be scared? This was hilarious. NASA dangles $7 billion carrot for the next moon landing. They're dangling a carrot and they're overcomplicating things, selling you a big lie. These people don't lie small, they lie big. And it's the box that the mind prison, the matrix, if you want to call it, it's the box that they stick everybody in. The only reason people are in this box is because they've been heavily exposed to the indoctrination from day one. Dangling the carrot. What do you think about this? It's all fun and games. They're cracking up. Dangling the carrot. This is one of my favorite NASA photos. It's kind of hard to find too. Dangling the carrot. And this I found, dangling the carrot. Orange is their favorite color. They love that hand sign right there with the, it's like they're holding a magic wand, but they don't have anything in it. This one's got their hand, this bozo with the hand on the joystick. Taking you for a ride. Have you ever noticed how many people on YouTube, they like to record themselves while they're driving? They're taking you for a ride. That's what this is. Taking you for a ride. Dangling a carrot in front of you. Taking the piss. Now, a thing that people are just dazzled by Disneyland props. People talk about CERN all the time like it's this real boogeyman thing. CERN is probably a Disneyland prop. Probably doesn't do anything. And look at, well, that's Atlas Obscura, I guess. So I don't know what that is, like a weird Wikipedia type thing. But that's a pyramid with a seeing eye in the center. But anyways, and the CERN logo is a bunch of sixes and nines intertwined. 666, repeating sixes ideas. But here, this is dangling the carrot in front of you, demoralizing you, making you think that if you're not one of these, it's just a huge meme. It's not rocket science. They want you to think that rocket science is the end all of smarty pants, but it turns out that outer space isn't even real. So it's a big joke. Evolution of the universe. It's just all BS. None of this is science because nobody can corroborate any of these things. Look here regarding CERN. A very high energy beam of lead ions, 33 TeV. And they're always selling you a story that's just not real. The sun, it's like a spotlight. It's not a big ball. I don't know what this was, but this had to do with CERN, talking about closed down after 33 years. I have a really good 33 coming up for CERN, so get ready. How to contact us. I'll just end with this. Big science is nothing but an appeal to authority. It's Wizard of Oz. It's not real life. And they're selling you a fantasy that ultimately demoralizes you and gives people existential crises. And it's just not the truth. The truth is more simple, and the truth is in chapter 1 of Genesis 1, the very first page on the Bible. If you want to know where you live, go read that. Look at this out of CERN. How to contact us, CERN. Reception. The reception at CERN is Building 33. It all begins at Building 33. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. God bless everyone.